A single feature in a top-tier media outlet can outperform a $1 million ad campaign. I've watched brands transform overnight, not because they spent more, but because they showed up in the right headlines. Here at Publish Narrative, we study how influence actually works, and today I'll show you why PR is more powerful than advertising, and the strategic advantage most professionals completely miss. Because this isn't about exposure, it's about authority. Over the past decade, I've advised founders, executives, and communication teams who believed advertising was the fastest way to grow. And yes, ads generate impressions, but impressions don't automatically create trust. Top media coverage does something advertising can't. It transfers credibility. When your brand appears in respected publications, your reputation accelerates. In this video, I'll break down why PR drives deeper influence than advertising, how top media visibility changes perception instantly, and how you can use this strategy to elevate your career or business. And later, I'll reveal the strategic order that makes everything work. Now here's the first thing you need to understand. Advertising buys attention. PR builds authority. There's a difference. When you run an ad, people know you paid to be there. That awareness creates distance. Even subconsciously, audiences question the message. But when your company is featured in a respected outlet, whether it's an industry publication, a national news platform, or a well-known podcast, that coverage signals credibility. Here's what most people don't realize. Authority transfers. If a trusted platform highlights your story, some of that platform's credibility transfers to you. I once worked with a SaaS startup that spent heavily on digital ads. Clicks increased, but conversions stayed flat. Then we secured a feature in a leading industry magazine. No discount offer, no flashy campaign. Inbound inquiries tripled in 30 days. Why? Because buyers felt reassured. Authority reduces hesitation. Advertising says, "Look at us." Top media coverage says, "They matter." And that distinction changes behavior. But here's where it gets interesting. Advertising works in bursts. Campaign launches, budget runs, results spike, then it slows. Media visibility creates positioning that lasts. When your name appears in credible publications, that content becomes part of your digital footprint. Prospective clients Google you. Investors research you. Recruiters search your name. What they find shapes perception before you ever speak to them. Think about leaders like Elon Musk or Oprah. Their authority isn't built on ads. It's reinforced by constant presence in influential media conversations. Here's a real example. A senior executive I advised wanted to transition into board-level roles. She initially considered running personal branding ads. Instead, we focused on media visibility, expert commentary in respected business publications, podcast interviews, panel features. Within 12 months, she received 2 unsolicited board invitations. Because when decision-makers see your insights in top media, they assume leadership credibility. Advertising generates awareness. PR generates perception. And perception determines opportunity. Now the most important part. Ads often focus on features, better pricing, faster service, new technology. PR allows you to highlight meaning, mission, and impact. And that's what people connect with. A healthcare company I worked with struggled to stand out. Their ads emphasized efficiency and innovation. The market didn't respond. So we shifted strategy. Instead of highlighting features, we positioned the founder's personal journey, why the company was created, the problem it aimed to solve, the human impact behind the business. That story was picked up by a national publication. Engagement surged. Investor interest followed. Hiring improved. Because top media doesn't just display your product, it frames your purpose. Here's the deeper insight. Narrative creates emotional alignment, and emotional alignment drives loyalty. But there's still one more advantage you need to understand. Let me be clear, advertising provides predictable reach. You pay, you appear. But PR creates a reputation multiplier effect. When you're featured in respected media, several things happen simultaneously. Sales conversations shorten. Conversion rates improve. Partnerships become easier. talent recruitment strengthens. I've seen companies reduce their advertising costs after strong media exposure because audiences already trusted them. In other words, media visibility makes advertising perform better. Now listen carefully. The brands that get the most from advertising are usually the ones already recognized by respected outlets. Which brings us to the real strategic shift. At the beginning, I said the true power difference isn't about budget. Here's the insight. Advertising amplifies what already exists. PR shapes what exists. If your brand lacks authority, advertising simply magnifies that weakness. But when your brand is positioned in top media as credible, innovative, or industry-leading, advertising becomes fuel, not a crutch. This is the strategic order that works. Step 1. Define how you want to be perceived. Step 2. Secure visibility in respected media that reinforces that positioning. Step 3. Use advertising to amplify that authority. Most companies reverse this. They promote first, position later. That's why campaigns underperform. The professionals who understand this build influence faster and sustain it longer. Because authority compounds, and top media visibility is one of the fastest ways to build it. Let's recap the 3 key takeaways. First, advertising buys attention. PR builds authority. Second, media visibility strengthens long-term positioning, while ads create temporary spikes. Third, the smartest strategy is positioning first, amplification second. Now that you understand this, evaluate your strategy. Are you promoting, or are you positioning? If this changed how you think about PR and advertising, subscribe to Publish Narrative, because I share strategic communication insights every week to help you build authority, not just attention. In my next video, I'll break down how to position yourself for top-tier media coverage step by step. Until then, remember, attention fades, authority compounds, and at Publish Narrative, we build narratives that lead markets.